Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this video I will show you how to create friendship bracelets for men, and I have here a few examples of friendship bracelets. As you can see, I used neutral colors and I created different designs using yarn. So I will explain to you how to create some of these designs, and I will show you step by step how to make the loop, how to create the knots, how to order the yarns, and also how to create the tie, by means of which you will be able to close the bracelet. So let's start now with the first bracelet, and I will show you step by step how to create the bracelet. Now I will show you how to create friendship bracelet with a diamond pattern, diamond and axis. For that I will use a green cord and a light brown cord. I will use two green cords, whereas for the light brown cord I will use only one cord. As you can see, I cut a longer bit of cord so that I can create a loop here. The length from this point to this point is about 70 centimeters, that is about 28 inches. And I also added about 70 centimeters to the light brown cord, so another 28 inches, because the light brown cord, which will create the diamonds and the axis, will need to be a little longer. So I will begin by creating the loop. So I will grab the yarns like this and I will create an overhand knot, so a very simple knot. This way. Now I have created the loop. I will grab the loop with the clamp, and let's look from a closer distance how I will arrange the yarns and how I will create the bracelet. So as you can see, I put two green yarns on one side, two green yarns on the other side, and in the middle I will keep the two brown yarns. And now I will start by making a backward knot, one, and a second backward knot on the left side, on the green yarn. So I make the backward knot by creating the number 4, but in the middle. I put my finger under this cord, grab the other cord and take it out through this loop, and I have created the backward knot. Now on the right side I will create forward knots like this. So I create the shape of the number 4, I put my finger under this cord, grab the other cord, take it out through the loop and create one knot and another knot. Like this. So I have created two knots on both sides, two green knots. And now I will use the brown cords to create knots. So I will create one backward knot, and a second backward knot, with the two brown cords, like this. Now I will take the brown cord and I will create a backward knot on the first green cord here. One, and the second backward knot. So I made two backward knots on this green cord, and my cord will move backwards. From here it will move here. Now I will take this cord and I create two backward knots. One and the second. And now my cord has moved backwards from here to the outside here. And now I will do the same thing with this brown cord, but in the opposite direction, so I will create forward knots. I take the first green cord and I make two forward knots. One, one, and the second forward knot. Now I will make the second forward knot. And I will also make two forward knots on the last cord. One and two. And now I will take the middle cord and I will make two backward knots. One and the second. I will make two backward knots on the left cord, one and two, and I will make two backward knots on the right cord. Now I will take the right cord and I will make two backward knots. One and two. And I have these two cords and I will make two backward knots as well. One and two. And now I will take the brown cords and I will start making forward knots. So I will make one and two forward knots, on the second cord here I'll make 1 and 2 forward knots, and I will do the same with the right cord, but this time I will do backward knots, so 1 backward knot, 2 backward knots on the first cord, and on the second cord 1 backward knot, and 2 backward knots. And now here I will make 1 and 2 backward knots. Like this. And again I will begin the same steps. I will make 2 backward knots here, 1 and the second, and on the other side 2 forward knots, 1 and the second. So let's see from a closer distance. So this is the first diamond, and I will continue doing the same steps, creating the same knots as in the case of this diamond, with the cords from now on. And I will continue making these diamonds until I reach the length that I want for my bracelet, and then I will show you how to create the bracelet tie. So let's continue making the knots, following the exact steps that I have described here. And now I have finished the bracelet, and I will start creating the tie. I will separate the cords this way, and I will start braiding in order to create 2 separate ties. That I will use in order to close my bracelet. And now I have braided the other cord as well. I will create the knot. I will take the scissors and cut the end of the cord. And now let's see the bracelet, the finished bracelet. So I will put the tie through the loop like this, and I will close the tie like this. And this is what the bracelet looks like. And this is the finished bracelet. And now let's make a chevron bracelet using black, brown and green. So in order to start the chevron bracelet, I will use some cords that have a length from this point to this point of about 80 or 85 centimeters. That would be about 32 or 33 inches. And as you can see here, the cords form a loop, and I will create the loop of the bracelet by making an overhand knot. This way. And I will grab the loop with the clamp. And now, in order to create the chevron bracelet, I will order the yarns, the cords, according to their color. And in order to create the chevrons, I will create forward knots on the left side and backward knots on the right side. By using the forward knots, my cord will go forward, so towards the right, and by making the backward knots, the cord will go backwards, that is to the left. In the middle, in order to close the chevron, I will have two identical cords, and I will create again two knots, and I can create any type of knots in the middle. It can be two forward knots, two backward knots, a forward and a backward knot, or a backward and a forward knot. And as you can see, the order of the colors is important when you make the chevron bracelets. If you want to get a specific design on your bracelet, if you put the cords this way, so I put the black cords on the outside, then the brown cords, and in the middle the green cords. So they are in the mirror, the colors are in the mirror. And if you should always be careful how you order your cords, because if you mix the cords, the colors on your bracelet will also mix. So this is one thing to be attentive at. And let's begin now making the knots. So I'll begin on the left side with the first cord, with the black cord. I'll put a black cord over the brown cord, and I'll create the shape of the number 4, as you can see here. So by creating this shape, I will create the first forward knot. I will put my finger under the brown cord. I will grab the black cord like this and take it out through the loop of the number 4 and tighten this knot. So this is the first knot that I make. Now I will make the second knot on the same cord with the same cords, and I will again create the number 4, grab the cord, take the cord out through the loop, and I have created the first full forward knot. By making this forward knot, my cord goes forward, so it moved from this place to this place. And again, I will make 2 forward knots on the green cord. 1 forward knot and the second forward knot. And as you can see, my cord has moved from this place to the middle here. And now let's go to the right side and create the backward knots. I will create the shape of the number 4, but in the mirror, like this, and again I will put my finger under the brown cord, grab with my nail the black cord, take the black cord out through this loop, and tighten the first backward knot. I'll make the second backward knot, creating the number 4 like this, taking the cord out through the loop, and as you can see, my cord went backward. So from this place it moved to this place. And now let's create a backward knot on the green cord. I create the shape of the number 4 in the mirror to make the backward knot. I put my finger under the green cord, grab the black cord, create the first backward knot, and then the second backward knot. And now my black cord moved from here, to the middle. And now in the middle I have 2 black cords, and in order to create the tip of the chevron I will create 2 knots. So as I told you, I can create 2 forward knots, I can create 2 backward knots, or I can create a combination of forward and backward knot, or backward and forward knot. So let's make 2 forward knots, 1 and 2, and this is how I created my first chevron. And now we shall take the brown cord to create the next chevron. So always careful how you order your colors so that the colors do not mix on your bracelet. So a forward knot, the second forward knot. Now my black cord has moved from this place to this place here. Again, a forward knot, the second forward knot, and I brought my brown cord from this place to the middle of my bracelet. And now on the right side the backward knots with the brown cord. 1 backward knot, the second backward knot, on the black cord 1 backward knot, the second backward knot, and my brown cords are in the middle, and I will create 2 forward knots, 1 and 2, like this, and I created the second chevron, the brown chevron. So as you can see, I have a black and a brown chevron. And now let's continue with the green color. 1 forward knot, the second forward knot, again on the brown cord 1 forward knot, the second forward knot. I brought the green cord into the middle. Now we go to the right side. With the green cord I make 1 backward knot, the second backward knot, 1 backward knot, the second backward knot. I brought the green cords into the middle, and I make 2 forward knots, and I also created the green chevron. Let's see from a closer distance how our chevrons look like. So I have the black chevron, the brown chevron, and the green chevron. And now I will continue creating black, brown, and green chevrons until I obtain the length that I want for my bracelet. And then I will show you how to create the bracelet tie. And now that I have finished the last chevron, I will create the bracelet tie. And in order to make the bracelet tie, I will start twisting the 2 sets of cords in the same direction. So for example, I twist to the left, and then I will twist them one around the other in the opposite direction, in this case to the right. So let's begin. I'll take the first 3 yarns and I'll twist the yarns. This way. I'll grab them with a clamp. Now I'll take the other yarns and again I'll twist them in the same direction, so to the left, so in this direction. And now that I have twisted both of those yarns to the left, I will take them and twist them around one another, but this time to the opposite direction, to the right. And now I will create a knot at the end of the twisted tie. I will take the scissors and cut the end of my tie. I will remove the clamp and let's see what the finished bracelet looks like. So this is the finished bracelet. In order to close the bracelet, I will put the tie through the loop like this, and I will make a simple knot here, this way. And this is what the finished bracelet looks like. And this is what it looks like on my arm. Now I will show you how to create a candy stripe bracelet using these 2 cords, brown and black. And for that I will use cords that are about 80 or 8 to 85 centimeters long. That's about 30-31 inches long. And I will begin by making the loop at the end here. I will make an overhand knot. And I will grab the yarns and order the yarns according to their color. I'll put the black, the brown, the black, and again the brown. And I will start creating forward knots. I will begin with the black yarn. I will create a shape of the number 4 like this. I will put my finger under the brown yarn. I'll grab the black yarn and take it out through this loop. And I make 1 knot. Now I will make another forward knot. I will take the next yarn. I will make the shape of the number 4. Take the yarn out like this and make a forward knot, and I will make another forward knot, and I will make another forward knot here, and another forward knot, and I created the first black stripe, and I'll continue with the next yarn, the brown yarn, and I will create again 2 forward knots, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and I created the brown stripe, and with the black yarn I'll create 2 forward knots on the first yarn, 2 forward knots on the black yarn, and 2 forward knots on the brown yarn. Like this. And now let's see what our stripes look like. As you can see, I created a black stripe, a brown stripe, again a black stripe, and I will continue by making new brown and black stripes. Once I have reached the bracelet length that I want, then I will show you how to make the tie of the bracelet. So let's continue creating the stripes. So whenever you make a bracelet like this, you must be very careful not to switch the colors, the yarns, because otherwise the design of your bracelet will not look as you want it to be. And now I have finished the bracelet, and I will create the tie of the bracelet. I will turn I will twist the yarns. I will twist both of these yarns in the same direction to the right, and then I will twist them one around the other, but in the opposite direction, to the left. So both of these yarns have been twisted to the right, and now when I twist them around one another, I twist them to the left. And now I will make the second knot. Like this, and the bracelet is ready. And now I will close the bracelet by putting one of the ties through the loop like this and making a knot, and the bracelet is ready. And this is what a bracelet looks like. So as you can see, for this bracelet you only need to create forward knots.